I want to talk a little bit about picture books today and just also talk about some misconceptions around picture books. First of all, thank you so much for your interest in Once Upon a Book's programs. I'm very excited to hopefully meet you soon. One of the questions that I get asked very often is, aren't picture books just for little kids? And the answer is absolutely not. They are not. I'm going to show you a couple of examples of wonderful picture books that cross ages, genders, everything. So picture books can be for everyone. Of course, there are picture books for little children, but picture books, when they're written in a certain way, can be for everybody. Another statement that people make sometimes is, I'm not sure that my child is going to want to write picture books. I think they want to write longer books. They want to write chaptered books. They want to write novels. They want to write graphic novels. Fantastic. Writing and reading, I'm there with you. I think it's a wonderful thing to do, and I encourage them to do it. Right now, the course that we're running at Once Upon a Book is a picture book course. I'm really hoping that Once Upon a Book will grow so that we can also incorporate chaptered books, novels, comics, graphic novels at a later stage. For now, we're focusing on picture books because they're a really impactful way to share a story that means something to someone quickly because of their size. So I just want to deep dive a little bit into what the program entails, just to kind of cover that a little bit more. So the program is not just writing. It's so much more than just writing. It's going from an idea that's literally floating around in the ether, a topic that means something to a child, for example, maybe saving the bees. And we're going to pluck that idea out of the ether and we're going to start writing about it. I'll be working one-on-one with the kids to make sure that we understand the structure of writing. We're going to be handwriting the stories, because there's wonderful research that shows the connection between the hand, writing with the hand, and the brain in terms of boosting creativity and imagination. So we're handwriting our stories. Later on, I'll type them up when we get to the design phase, but for now, we're at the beginning, we're handwriting. There's an opportunity for us all the children and I, to edit together. So I'm going to be teaching them how to look for typos, grammar, corrections, all kinds of things. And no, your child does not need to be an impeccable writer to take part in this course, or an impeccable reader. They just need to be willing to learn, open, imaginative, and we can go from there. Once we've written and edited, we're going to get onto illustrations. So the children are actually creating the illustrations for their own books with my help. We're going to choose a back color palette for their pages based on the theme or topic they've chosen. And then we're going to use mixed media, so collages, fabric, bubble wrap, leaves from outside, and even printed characters that they can reposition on the different pages to ensure that their characters remain consistent throughout the book. That's a frustration that I see in children, is that their dog on page 1 doesn't look like the dog on page 3 and it's the same dog. So that's one way to get around that. So we're going to be creating our own illustrations together, which is wonderful. My team and I will then go away and create a design of that book. And while that's happening, the kids are going to learn about marketing the book launch. There's a book launch that's going to happen and they're going to help me market that. They're going to get an opportunity to sign off on their book that's been designed and is ready for the printer. And then we're going to professionally print the book. So they're going to be beautiful hardcover, full color books, a little bit bigger than this. I'm showing you both ways because we'll do portrait or landscape depending on the kids, and the books will be 32 to 42 pages long, which is about 1,000 words to 2,000 words. So it's a full book production program from planning to printed, and then a wonderful book launch with friends and family where the kids are going to read a page or two from their book, sign their books, and they can even sell some copies of their books to their friends and family. The program includes one printed book per child, so they'll go away with a book and a print ready PDF, so the parents can print as many as they want in the future. If they want to also print some copies to sell at the event, we'll also be doing that as well. So it's a full book production course. I also want, as I said to you, I wanted to touch base on why picture books are for everyone. This one is a picture book, and it's a tongue-in-cheek humorous picture book called All My Friends Are Dead. This is probably not something the kids would write. This is very much adult humor, but I'm just sharing it with you because it's just fun. So this is a small little picture book. It's kind of a gift book. I'll just read you a couple of pages. So it says, all my friends are dead. All my friends are dead. It's a dodo. Most of my friends are dead. What? Oh. Now all of my friends are dead. You get the picture. I'm not going to go into the whole book for you, but for example, all his friends are Kentucky Fried. So this is obviously a humorous book that obviously appeals more to adults than to children, of course. There's this wonderful book by Julia Johnson and illustrations by Susan Keeble about the Saluki. This is a slightly longer picture book, but this really is just a much longer, maybe for older children and definitely for adults, book talking about Salukis and their role in the Middle East. And it's just a really beautiful book about dogs. And the loyalty and also the drama of the families who had the dogs, and you know, things that were happening and how the dogs got born and the adventures that they went on with the children. And then there's this book, which is also great for adults and for children, called Little Mouse's Big Book of Fears. And I actually got this very much as an adult in 2007, so I was not a kid at that point. And it says it's fears, and it's got the most beautiful illustrations: arachnophobia, fear of spiders. Look at this book, it's so beautiful. These are like hand-drawn pictures of spiders, and there's even a hole in the page. And then we'll go to teratophobia, fear of monsters. I worry about what's under the bed. He's drawn this mouse, and the mouse is actually the illustrator. He's walking around with a pencil doing the most incredible illustrations. So obviously, you know, we limited a little bit in terms of what illustrations we can do with the kids. Some kids are not really big on drawing, or maybe they're not very good at illustrating, and so I don't want to impact their confidence. So that's why we're using mixed media, collages, fabric, bubble wrap, leaves, printed characters to help them create. Similar to this. This is kind of a collage, you know. This is actually pieces of newspaper that have been stuck down, and there's actual texture on this page. So yeah, this is very much for adults and for children. The Little Prince is another example of a wonderful book that is a picture book, a longer picture book, but this is definitely for children and adults. It's got the most, if you haven't read this book, please do. It's got the most wonderful philosophical thoughts and ideas and really wonderful lessons about people in this book. Another book that I love so much that I found in a secondhand bookshop by mistake that is so beautiful, it actually made me very emotional when I finished it, is called The King of the Copper Mountains by Paul Beagle. It's a wonderful book. Again, also a picture book. Very kind of an old-fashioned picture book, but it's a longer one. More of a kind of novella picture book, really. But it's wonderful. I didn't mention, sorry, The Little Prince author is Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but that's The Little Prince. And then, of course, we have classics like We're All Wonders, which is a children's picture book, but this has got a lesson that even adults can learn, especially right now on this planet. And this one really touched me as a mom. It's called The Journey Home, and it is a children, and that's actually a sticker from my son. That's not even part of the cover. And it's basically about this chicken who raises all these wonderful animals, crocodiles and hedgehogs and flamingos, and then she drops them off at all their various destinations when they leave the nest. And I won't spoil the ending, but it's very, very sweet. And this will definitely appeal to parents and children. It's a wonderful book to read to your children because you'll enjoy reading this as a parent. It's actually also quite a nice gift for someone whose kids are leaving the nest. So I will be reading children's picture books as often as I can to give everybody an idea of the wonderful types of picture books out there. But I hope that helps answer some of your questions around why picture books are really for everyone and why we at Once Upon a Book work on picture books specifically. And I really hope to see you at one of our programs soon. Bye!